I'm in a conversation with Lieutenant General Raghu Srinivasan, PVSM VSM, Director General of BRO. Welcome to Defense Dynamics, sir.
Thank you.
So, Neoma Airfield is said to be a forward base with strategic implications. What are the challenges faced by BRO and how are they managed?
See, the first thing is that we are working in the region of Eastern Ladakh, and the process of getting there is quite challenging. You would imagine that for most of us who do not visit the border areas, the last habitation that you really look at is Srinagar, maybe going on to Leh. And then further, as you go to Eastern Ladakh, you are traversing approximately 200 kilometers in the Himalayas. You're crossing rivers, and you're, most importantly, dealing with high altitude, which is in the range of 13,000 feet, and with extreme weather conditions, which in winter go down to sub-zero, minus 40 degrees centigrade. And another factor with people don't understand in high altitude is that you have very high velocity winds. So working conditions after, let's say, 3 in the afternoon become extremely difficult to even withstand the winds which you will encounter. So long lines of communication, difficult terrain, high altitude, extreme weather, these are the challenges which you face. So for some construction agency which is working in the hinterland, you would normally say that your working season would be restricted by, let's say, the rains, that presently Delhi is facing monsoons. So there would be some degree of construction loss in terms of time because of the rain. In a place like Eastern Ladakh, you would say that your working season is limited to just about 6 months. And in that period, you have to construct, you have to mobilize, you have to achieve your targets. So something which would normally take about 2 years in the hinterland would easily magnify once we come to the high altitude area.
So when we talk of strategic infrastructure all along the LAC, particularly Ladakh and Arunachal, what are we looking at?
See, I would say that there has been a surge, a phenomenal surge, a remarkable surge, something that we haven't seen, which has been brought in by the government. And this has happened merely in the last 12 years or so. And previously also we were constructing our roads and infrastructure in these areas. But what has now happened is a sea change in the way that we see our border areas and the ways that we see border infrastructure in the border areas. You see, these are extremely underpopulated areas. People don't stay there. So in places like Ladakh, in the winter season, people would come down to Leh and further down below. In Himachal Pradesh, the Spiti Valley would get depopulated. Similarly, in Uttarakhand, people would come down to the areas of Joshimath or, let's say, Dehradun. In Sikkim, they would come down to Gangtok. In Arunachal Pradesh, further, people would come down. So this is something which we had been seeing for a long period of time, which was a term which was migration from the border areas of people who were looking to seek better opportunity, some economic improvement in terms of getting employment, education for their children. So everything was available in the hinterland. I think what the government is looking at is using our borders as an economic advantage. So the border roads, as you know, works for the Ministry of Defense. Our prime role is to see that border infrastructure to support the military forces in the border areas is provided. But simultaneously, roads, as you see, and bridges, airfields are all dual purpose infrastructure. They can be used to advantage for our people, and that is what presently is being done, which is happening. So I would see that earlier we would say that a village like, let's say, Mana in Uttarakhand or Huri in Arunachal Pradesh, that would be our last village. The present policy which the government has enunciated and is following very rigidly is that these are our first villages, हमारे प्रथम गांव हैं. So the aim is to have reverse migration, and it is happening as the road is constructed, as we are reaching further and further to these hitherto so-called underdeveloped border areas, these are now seeing tremendous development. And I've said this before, the Indian citizen has tremendous entrepreneurship skills, and we use these roads as arteries, as lifelines through which the lifeblood of economic prosperity and development of these border areas comes about.
So, what are the futuristic projects by BRO that the country would see coming up in the Himalayan region?
I think it's everywhere on the borders. I just talked about the states that we're involved in. We're involved completely in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, whether it is in the Kashmir Valley, whether it is to the north, in the general area of the Siachen Glacier, whether it is to the east in eastern Ladakh, the area of Chushul, Daulat Beg, Oldi. We are seeing a large number of roads which are coming up right up to the borders. Similarly, when you come to Himachal Pradesh, we have roads getting up, connecting beyond the Spiti Valley. I would like to talk about 2 or 3 projects which are very important. One is, you have to understand that while you can connect border areas, there is an importance to have a lateral. That means a lateral which is running parallel to your border. So in that sense, the road to Daulat Beg Oldi, which comes up from Shyok, and then parallelly coming to the south, which is Dungti, Phukche, these roads have been developed. They are being developed further, and from these laterals emanate the axials, which go up right up to the border areas, and all of these are happening simultaneously. And I would say that in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, where we were initially up to about 100 kilometers behind the border, our lateral would go generally in the line of Itanagar. Now today, with the government giving impetus to the Arunachal Frontier Highway, which is approximately 1600 kilometers long, which traverses all the way from Tawang in the west to Vijayanagar in the east, traversing the complete length of Arunachal Pradesh. We have the Arunachal Frontier Highway, which will be just 30 to 40 kilometers from the line of actual control. And as soon as you have this lateral, where you have seamless connectivity from one end of the state to the other end of the state, you will see that we will be easily able to develop further roads which are emanating from the lateral, going up to the north. The border roads has already started work on the Arunachal Frontier Highway. We have about 531 kilometers in the middle section of Arunachal Pradesh, where work has already started. And this work under the MORTH will very soon commence. And you will see a sea change in our connectivity to the border regions.
So, when is Neoma airfield is getting operational?
So, the Neoma airfield is on target. We hope that we should be able to complete it by October this year. And we have, in addition to that, we are presently constructing the Nimu-Padam Darcha road, which is the third connectivity to Ladakh. This goes through the Zanskar Valley. It crosses the Shinkunla Pass, which, as you know, was inaugurated by the first blast was conducted in August this year by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. And work has already started on the Shinkunla Tunnel, which when constructed will be the highest tunnel at 15,000 feet in the world. And this will, the Nimu-Padam Darcha road will indeed be a game changer, because this has to cross only one pass. As you know, the other connectivity to Leh is by the traditional Srinagar-Leh highway, and other is through Manali. You go onwards to Upshi and get into Leh, where there are 3 mountain passes. But this is the shortest, 298 kilometers, of which already 217 kilometers has been blacktopped. And we hope that by the end of 2026, we will have this road complete in all respects, and you will see a sea change. You know, the valley of Padam, which is in the Zanskar, on the Zanskar River, is one of the most beautiful regions of the world, I would say. And we would have connectivity which is established through the Shinkunla tunnel. Will get through in another 2 years' time. After that, that is by 2028, we should have the Shinkunla tunnel ready, and that would be a game changer for our connectivity to the strategic Ladakh region. I would also like to talk about what has happened to Tawang, because last year in 2024, in March, the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi had inaugurated Sela Tunnel, which we had constructed, which is a strategic tunnel getting into Arunachal Pradesh. And you can imagine that otherwise this access to the strategic Tawang region used to be cut off for approximately 20 to 30 days. And this year it was limited to just about 3 days when we had to do snow clearance and we were able to open the road.